In the seventh and final SAT writing unit, we'll be talking about conjunctions. Conjunctions are meant to show the relationship between parts of the sentence that they connect. And remember, conjunctions are words like for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so, the fanboys words. We should be on the lookout for relationships like cause and effect, comparisons, contrasts, and time relationships, and then use the conjunction that fits with that indication. Ask yourself, does the second part continue or contradict the idea from the first part? Use this to decide if you should use conjunctions like, and, or, so, continue, or conjunctions like but or yet, contradict. Number 1, Paloma is not worried about her upcoming math test since she knows those mathematical concepts by heart. In this example, the second part of the sentence continues the idea from the first part, so it makes sense to use the conjunction since. Number 2, my cousin is the fastest runner in her grade, yet her team won the relay race at field day. In this sentence, there's also a continued relationship between the first part of the sentence and the second, so we should use a conjunction that suggests a continued relationship. An example of that would be the word and. Number 3, it is unlikely that Martin perfects his back handspring before the competition because he practices consistently. The second part of the sentence here is providing a new idea, a contradiction rather than consistency. Therefore, we should replace the conjunction because with a contradicting idea like unless. Number 4, it is a well-known fact that time spent studying and exam performance are correlated, but students who study more receive higher grades on their exams. In this sentence, we have a continued relationship between the first part and the second part of the sentence, so we need a continuing conjunction like and. Subordinating conjunctions connect unequal parts, such as an independent clause and a dependent clause. Coordinating conjunctions connect equal parts, such as two verbs, two nouns, two adjectives, or two phrases. When connecting two independent clauses, phrases that contain a subject and a verb and express a complete thought, use a comma and a fanboys word. We talked about this a little bit in our earlier units. Number 5, because Jason wanted his house to look more festive, he put up streamers in 2 holiday colors, red but green. The conjunction in this sentence is connecting 2 nouns, which are equal parts, so we should use the coordinating conjunction and. Number 6, my dad just left the house to pick up my sister from school because he should be back soon. In this sentence, we need a continuing conjunction like so to connect these 2 ideas. Number 7, as her job as a truck driver means she is alone most of the time, my aunt is an extrovert. Because the 2 parts of the sentence here introduce contradictory ideas, being alone all the time and being an extrovert, we should use the conjunction even though to indicate that contradiction. It's important to keep in mind the difference between where and when. Where is used only for places, so only use this if we're talking about actual locations. When is only used for times. Number 8, Dr. Sautoma is well respected at the hospital when she would make accurate diagnoses. So here we are talking about a place, the hospital, not a time, so we should not use the word when. Only choice D uses the appropriate part of speech to explain what act makes the doctor respected. The next idea we'll go over is how we are reducing wordiness and redundancy, which is an important thing to keep in mind on the SAT. One way to do so is to combine sentences. Number 9, at Elka's new job, her boss announced 3 keys to success. Those keys were arriving on time, completing tasks quickly, and asking for help. Here we're being asked which choice most effectively combines the 2 sentences at the underlined portion. So we can see, looking at the 2 sentences here, that they are grammatically correct. However, they're not the most effective way of bridging those connections. Choice A is the least wordy and uses a colon to introduce the list of the 3 keys, so we avoid repeating those keys. Number 10. Although many people think that the Wright brothers were the first to create a flying machine, a few months earlier, Richard Pierce had made one. Richard Pearce was a farmer and a New Zealander. Again, we're being asked which choice most effectively combines the sentences at the underlined portion. Answer choice B uses the fewest words. As we can see, that's the shortest option and avoids repeating the name that is mentioned in the sentence. Number 11. Most golf balls today are made of layers of rubber. However, the first golf balls were filled with dried sap, which created a similar texture. Again, we're being asked which choice most effectively combines the two sentences at the underlined portion. Answer choice B is the least wordy and successfully conveys the idea of the sentence, comparing the current makeup of golf balls with how they were originally made. Number 12. Mr. Soyemi gave his third grade students an assignment. The one requirement of the assignment was that the students read 2 books by the end of the month. Which choice most effectively combines the two sentences at the underlined portion? Answer choice C here. Mr. Soyemi gave his third grade students an assignment that required that the students read 2 books, effectively combines those two sentences while reducing the number of extraneous words in the two sentences. Number 13. Crows are the problem solvers of the bird world. They often use found objects, such as curved sticks, as tools. Which choice most effectively combines the sentences at the underlined portion? We can use a semicolon here to connect 2 independent clauses and connect those 2 sentences effectively. Number 14. New York City is the most populous city in the world in the United States. It has 8.8 million residents. Which choice most effectively combines the 2 sentences? Answer choice A. With 8.8 million residents, New York City is the most populous city in the United States. Best connects the 2 clauses without being repetitive. Okay, let's go over our final set of extra problems for our 7th unit. Number 1, there are almost 8 million species of animals in the world. There are 5 classes of animals, which are mammals, invertebrates, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and birds. Which of the following most effectively combines the 2 sentences? Answer choice C uses a colon to connect those sentences by creating a list of the 5 categories immediately after introducing the number of species. Number 2, my class went on a field trip to Yellowstone National Park when we hiked, biked, and saw wildlife. In the sentence, the word when is used inappropriately because we're not talking about a time, we're talking about the place, Yellowstone National Park. We should replace when with where. Number 3, my mom always refused to admit that she liked pets, and since my dad brought a cat home, she has been cuddling it nonstop. Here we're introducing contradictory ideas, the idea that the mom does not want to admit she likes pets, and the idea that now she is cuddling this cat. Therefore, we should use the contradictory conjunction, but. Number 4, because my brother always hoped to be a professional ballet dancer, he practiced hard every day after school. Here, no change is necessary because we are agreeing with the original sentiment expressed. And finally, number 5, little kids are often told not to swallow gum because it will stay in their guts for 7 years. That is not a true story and is likely to scare them. Which of the following most effectively combines the 2 sentences? Here, choice C most effectively combines the 2 sentences because it avoids adding in extraneous words and being redundant.